Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and welcome back to another Sims 4 speedbuilding video. So in today's video I'm going to be building this opposite sister apartment. It's kind of like an opposite Spellcasters apartment, but ever since we've had Realm of Magic, ever since we got the trailer, I've had it in my head to build either a house or apartment that has two different rooms for two completely different types of Sims, and I really wanted to do one for some sisters. So I was kind of thinking that one sister could really be into maybe mischievous magic and maybe is into potions, whilst the other one maybe uses her magic for good and is maybe into the more kind of spells instead of more potions. It's just an idea that I've had for a really long time, and I'm so excited to actually sit down and film something with the new Realm of Magic items. If you guys would have seen my last video, then you would have known that this would actually be my first video using the new Realm of Magic items, because I did actually have a little break from YouTube. I was in the process of moving, and so I didn't get to play with the game at all. I've now actually since played Realm of Magic, and what I've seen so far I absolutely love. I just am so in love with all the new items, all the new interactions. I just think it's such a good game pack, and it's probably one of my favourite game packs that we've had so far. I'm also recently going through a process of watching all of the Harry Potter films, and I think I actually picked the best time to do it, because I don't know about anyone else, but sometimes when I watch a film or a TV series or something, I can get really easily inspired, and it'll make me want to do it in The Sims, and I'll want to kind of recreate that film or that TV series in my game. And now where we have Realm of Magic, it's made me even more excited to actually get in and explore it deeper. I haven't done so much gameplay with it. I've only done a few hours here and there, but what I've seen so far I absolutely love. But moving on and actually speaking about the build a little bit, so this apartment is 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. Both bedrooms do actually have a double bed in them, so if you would like 4 Sims to live in this apartment, you definitely can. But I just kind of had it in my head that it was 2 single sisters living here. I kind of also had it in my head that maybe they moved out of Glimmerbrook and they wanted to start a new life in San Myshuno and maybe have a partially normal job, so they still had like a normal day job, but they really wanted their apartment to be as magical as possible. And so I tried to make it as magical and as cluttered as I possibly can. As you can kind of see, I have started off with the kitchen. So in the kitchen I used the new counters that we got in the game pack, and I really like them, but the only one downside to them is we don't actually have any matching cabinets to go on the wall, which is so annoying. We actually had a similar thing happen when we got Island Living. We got these really nice, beautiful, sleek, modern counters, but we didn't have any cabinets to go on the wall to match them. And I am a player or a builder that likes to put cabinets when I'm doing kitchens that just make them feel a little bit more full. And if I don't have kitchen cabinets on the wall, I kind of feel like a kitchen's a little bit empty in a way. That's just me personally, so hopefully one day they can patch them in. And as we don't actually have them, I actually had to use some base game counters. I tried to match the woods as closely as possible. They're not going to be the exact same color wood, because obviously the ones that I've used for the cabinets are from base game, and obviously the counters are from Realm of Magic, so they look a little bit different, but I feel like they're the closest that it could possibly get. But in the kitchen I also did use the new oven and the new fridge. I absolutely love this new oven. I love the kind of how it's not really got grids on it. It's kind of like a big metal plate. Oh, I love that. I think it's so beautiful, and I'm really happy with all the new items that we got in the game pack. I also did use a laundry day table in the middle of the kitchen. I really wanted a big dining room area for your Sims to sit down and eat. Maybe they want to invite some other spellcasters round, or maybe they're in a group or a club and every so often they have other spellcasters come round from Glimmerbrook, their friends that maybe they haven't seen in a while, and they can all sit around the table and eat. I really wanted a big table in this house, and as you would have seen, I did clutter it up quite a lot. I used moved objects, and I put some books, some spell books, some potions, some ingredients, all different kinds of magical items in the middle of the table. I wanted it to look really cluttered, and I felt like when I just had a single plant in the middle of the table, it didn't feel as magical as I wanted it to feel. So that is the reason why I decided to clutter it up like mad. But I have now moved on and I started furnishing the lounge / living room. So in here, as you can see, I did actually use the new bookcases that we got with the pack. I tried to use every single new item that we got. I didn't actually cram it full of every single one, but I wanted to use the most that I could without it looking out of place. And I really wanted to use these new bookcases that we got. I think these are so beautiful, and I love the bigger one. It's got loads of little kind of boxes in and loads of different objects, and it just makes it look a little bit more realistic than some of the other bookcases that we have in the game. I really love these new bookcases. As you can see, I did actually place 2 of the bookcases down, and in between them I did actually use this little empty space to kind of be a little cozy nook area. So I really wanted to put this base game trunk down in between them, because I feel like this trunk that we've got with base game is more of a coffee table, but I think that it really goes with Realm of Magic and all the items in the pack. And then what I did is I actually put the TV on the wall and then kind of closed off the area with some shelves above the TV, and I really wanted to create this really cozy little nook of an area which I feel like your Sims can sit down, maybe drink some tea, maybe practice some spells or read a book or do whatever they want to do in. I did also go ahead and just kind of clutter up that coffee table area, so I have a few familiars, I have a few collectibles, and one of the things that I also did in this coffee table area was I actually sized down one of the objects that we got with cats and dogs. Now I've actually done this in one of my videos before. I believe one of the first times I've actually done this was in my witch's cottage build, which I'll put a card on the screen now for you to go ahead and watch that if you haven't seen it. But basically what I did is we've got this clutter item with cats and dogs, and you can actually size it down and move objects the trunk up, and on top of this trunk there's loads of different books, but if you put it in the right placement you can make it look as if that coffee table or that counter or whatever you're placing it on has a pile of books instead of maybe just a trunk of books. It's actually one of my favourite clutter items to use in normal everyday houses, but I really liked the look of it in this apartment. I also did just clutter it up with a few more kind of familiars and just other collectibles, but now I have actually just moved on and I'm doing this little area by the back door. So this is actually the apartment in the Spice District that actually has the balcony. Now I actually wanted to use this apartment because it has a balcony, and I really wanted the Sims in this apartment to actually have a garden where they can grow ingredients for all the different potions that they want to make. But by the back door I do just have that massive pot thing. I'm not even sure what it's called, so I'm not even going to attempt to try and say it, but the thing that your Sims can actually make potions in, I really wanted to include it in this apartment somewhere, and I just kind of felt like that was the best placement for it. We also do have a little shelf kind of wall full of all different kinds of potions that I actually got out of the debug menu, and then also do have a few pictures as well as this new kind of cabinet object. I'm not even sure what it's meant to be, but it looks like it's got different kind of ingredients and butterflies and all different kinds of potions in it as well. Now I have actually just moved back to the TV area and I'm clutching up that shelf just above the TV. I kind of forgot about that little area when I was cluttering up the coffee table, but I did make sure to go back and just clutter it up with a few books, a few feathers and a few photo frames, and then I am just going to finish off this little nook area and add some postcards, which I kind of thought that maybe these spellcasters had friends all around different worlds and maybe they send postcards and maybe they got pen pals or something like that, and so I did just place a few of them under the TV. But now I have actually moved on and I started furnishing the balcony of this apartment. So I actually used the new floor tile that we got. It's kind of like this stone pattern and I absolutely love it. I think it's so perfect and I can see myself using it in so many different kinds of builds. But on this balcony I did start it off by making this little ivory wall. I really wanted one of the spellcaster Sims to be really into flower arranging, maybe gardening, and I really wanted to have a place where they could just go outside and garden, and I felt like the ivory wall was just kind of like a little perfect touch to this balcony. As you can see, I am also going around and placing some of the flower beds that we have from base game around the edge of the balcony. I really wanted it to be as full of plants as possible, and so I decided to do this. I've never actually thought about doing this in this apartment until now, and I actually really like the look of it. And I actually noticed when I was kind of zoomed out that some of the other balconies in this apartment complex that we don't actually have access to actually do have some of these flowers on, so it kind of matches in a way as well. But as you can see, I am actually using a mixture of 2 different flower beds. Now one of the ones that I actually use has kind of more ivy kind of going down the side of it and it looks a little bit more overgrown, and then the other one just kind of has singular flowers, and I really like merging them together because it looks more realistic and it looks like the plants need a little bit more tending to because it looks like they've overgrown a little bit. I just think it looks so beautiful when you merge these 2 flower beds together. But now I have just moved on and I've just placed some little planters down as well. So on this balcony I really wanted there to be full of different plants. I didn't actually place any plants down. I decided that I thought I'd leave it to you, so if you actually wanted to do gardening in this apartment then you can place whatever plants down that you'd like. Obviously if you don't want to do any gardening you can just delete them and maybe replace them with something else, but I just really wanted to leave them bare so you can kind of grow whatever plants that you want. I use the ones that we actually got from, I believe it's the woodworking table, and I really like the look of these ones. I prefer it to the ones that we actually have in the build and buy menu. I just think they look a whole lot nicer. I did also place a grill onto this balcony as well. Now whenever I'm thinking about doing anything spellcaster related, I feel like I'm always going to put a grill down, just because with the herbalism skill that we got introduced with The Sims 4 Outdoor Retreat, I believe some of the remedies are actually required to be made on the grill, and so I feel like whenever I'm going to be doing any spellcaster's apartment, house, no matter what it is, I feel like I'm always going to put a grill down. But now I have actually moved on and I've started furnishing back inside the house, and I've actually started furnishing the first bedroom. So this is one of the spellcaster's bedroom, and this is the one that I probably feel like is more into making potions and possibly gardening. This is the sim that I felt would be more attracted to them kind of things, especially potions. I feel like this sim would love making potions, and they're probably very advanced with potions as well. They probably know so many different ones. So in here I did actually go for the vampire wallpaper. I know vampires and spellcasters are two different things, but I really love this wallpaper and I think it goes well with this bed, which, by the way, this is probably my favourite new object that we got from Magic. It is so beautiful. I love the glass on the top of this bed. I think it's so it's breathtaking. I absolutely love it. Probably one of my favourite new objects. I do also place this little desk area into the bedroom as well. Both bedrooms do actually have their own desk with their own computers on. I normally do like a kind of a communal family computer when I'm doing houses and apartments, but I kind of figured as both these Sims were probably going to be adults, they probably want their own privacy, and so I decided to give them both their own computer. But I'm just going to go around and just finish up this room, add some paintings, and then also just finish it off with a little rug in the middle. But now I am actually moving on and I'm going in and furnishing the second bedroom. So this is a sim that I feel like is more into dark magic. Maybe they're more into spells and potions, and I also really imagine that this sim was into painting and art. So as the other sim was kind of more into gardening and she has the balcony to do all the gardening that she wants, I kind of wanted to give this sim their own hobby as well as magic, and so I kind of felt like maybe they could be really into painting, and so I do actually put a painting easel in this bedroom as well. But as you can tell, in this bedroom I went for a very different colour scheme to the one that I went for next door. So next door the bedroom's very light, it's full of light woods and yellows and creams, whereas this bedroom is full of really dark woods and a lot of purple. Now when you actually go into the magic realm, one of the sages, the sage for mischief, actually has a purple symbol above their head, and because I wanted the sim to live in this bedroom to be a fan of the dark magic and kind of uses magic for not so good and not so bad, but just kind of to pull pranks and all that kind of stuff, I really wanted to go for a purple theme, and I actually ended up going for the vampire's bed. Now even though the bed that we got with Realm of Magic does have some really cool dark swatches on, I didn't want the beds to be the exact same in different swatches. I want both of these Sims to have their own personalities, and so I kind of felt like it seemed right to go for a different bed, which still seems quite magical because obviously we got it with vampires, so it's still got that magical aspect to it, but it's just not the exact same bed. As you can see, I did actually end up going for the exact same chest of drawers and the exact same desk, but I just used them in different swatches because, like I said, I imagined that this sim was more into darker things and darker magic, and so I decided to give them much darker furniture. You can see I've also placed the easel in that corner, and I also placed some newspapers below it just to kind of act as if when they're painting they don't want to get paint onto the wood. And as you can see, I did actually place a painting just above the desk. Now originally I was actually going to use this one that we actually have from the debug menu, but I didn't really like the way it was looking, and so I actually decided to switch out to be some My First Pet Stuff paintings. And then next to the desk area we also do have this little clutter item that is kind of like a load of different paintings, and it looks like they're paintings that the sim has done, but they just haven't got around to putting them on the walls yet. But moving on, as you can see, I've started furnishing the bathroom, which is actually the last room in this house. So in the bathroom I went for the vampires bathroom set, so the vampires bath and shower and also the toilet, and I believe I ended up using this base game sink as well. And then there is also a little laundry room into this bathroom because this is one of the Needs TLC apartments, and it had some pipes on the wall, and I believe I've done this whenever I do this apartment as well. I always kind of make this room into a little laundry area. But anyway guys, I actually am going to end this voiceover here. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed watching me build this opposite sisters apartment or opposite spellcasters apartment. And as always, if you do like my content, then please subscribe, and hopefully I will see you in my next Sims 4 speedbuilding video. Bye guys.